I'm typing this from a stall in the men's restroom at my office, because if I go home right now, I am going to end up on the news. My hands are shaking so hard I'm having trouble hitting the right keys on my phone. I feel like the floor has dissolved beneath me, and I'm just falling into a black hole. This is a throwaway account for obvious reasons. I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll start with the context so you understand why this feels like a double homicide of my soul. My wife, Sarah, 29F, and I have been together for 8 years, married for 6. We have one beautiful, smart, incredible daughter, Lily, 4 years old. Lily is my world. She has my wife's eyes, but everyone always said my determination and goofy sense of humor. I have built my entire life around these 2 women. I work a corporate job that sucks the life out of me, pulling 60-hour weeks just so Sarah could be a stay-at-home mom like she wanted, and so Lily could go to a great preschool. Then there is my family, specifically my older brother, Mike, 34 male. If you know anything about family dynamics, you know the terms golden child and scapegoat. Mike is the golden child. He's taller, better looking, was the captain of the football team, and is now a successful partner at a law firm. My parents worship the ground he walks on. Growing up, everything I did was good, but everything Mike did was extraordinary. I made peace with that a long time ago. I actually have, or had, a decent relationship with Mike. He's arrogant, sure, but he's always been generous with Lily. He buys her the most expensive Christmas gifts, swings by on weekends to check in, and plays the role of the doting uncle perfectly. 2 months ago, purely on a whim, I bought a couple of those Ancestry DNA kits. It wasn't because I suspected anything. Honestly, it was because my dad has been having some heart issues, and I started getting paranoid about my own genetic health markers. I figured, hey, let's see where our ancestors are from and check the health predispositions. I bought one for me, one for Sarah, and one for Lily, thinking it would be a fun little science experiment to do as a family. Sarah was hesitant. She said it was a waste of money and that she didn't want her data harvested by big pharma. I laughed it off, told her she was being paranoid, and eventually she agreed just to get me to shut up about it. We did the spit tubes, we mailed them off, I forgot about it. The email came in this morning around 10 a.m. I was sitting at my desk, sipping lukewarm coffee, looking at a spreadsheet. The subject line popped up. Your results are ready. I clicked it, expecting to see a breakdown of British and German heritage. I scrolled through the ethnicity estimates, nothing surprising there. Then I clicked on the DNA Relatives tab. I expected to see Lily at the top, relationship, daughter, shared DNA, 50%. She was at the top, but the label didn't say daughter. It said predicted relationship, niece/half-sister. Shared DNA, 26%. I stared at the screen. I refreshed the page. I thought, okay, the algorithm is glitching. This is a stupid computer error. I clicked on the "What does this mean?" tool. It explained that 26 to 26% shared DNA typically indicates a grandparent, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, or half-sibling. My brain stopped working. It was like static noise took over my hearing. If Lily is my niece, that means... I scrolled down the list of matches. My brother, Mike, is on the platform. He took the test 3 years ago because his then-girlfriend was into it. There he was, second on the list. Relationship, brother. Shared DNA, 50%. And then I clicked on Lily's profile specifically to see her shared matches. Father, Mike, last name. Shared DNA, 49.9%. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I immediately threw up into my trash can. I'm talking violent, projectile vomiting. My cubicle neighbor asked if I was okay, and I just grabbed my phone and ran to the bathroom. I've been sitting here for 3 hours. I have read the results 50 times. I downloaded the raw data. I Googled false paternity results, ancestry. I looked up chimerism. I tried every mental gymnastic possible to make this not true. But the math is cold and unyielding. Lily is not my daughter. She is my niece. Mike is not just her uncle. He is her father. My wife slept with my brother. I'm trying to piece together the timeline. Lily was conceived roughly 4.5 years ago. That was a specific period in our marriage. I had just started this job and was traveling for training. I was gone for 3 weeks in Chicago. Sarah was stressed about money. Mike stepped up to help her with the house repairs we were doing at the time. I remember coming home and thanking him. I bought him a bottle of expensive scotch to thank him for taking care of Sarah while I was gone. Oh my God, I bought him scotch. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. The betrayal is so layered I can't breathe. It's not just that she cheated, it's that she cheated with him, the one person I have been compared to my entire life, the one person who has everything I don't. He took the one thing that was solely mine. And my parents? Did they know? They always say Lily looks so much like Mike did at that age. She has the last name genes they always crow at Thanksgiving. They treat her like a princess. Is it because they know? Or are they just seeing their golden child reflected in her? I texted Sarah an hour ago, just a simple, "Hey, how's the morning going?" She replied, "Crazy, Lily made a mess with the glitter glue. Miss you, love you." Love you. She is lying to me every time she breathes. I have to go home eventually. I have to look her in the face. I have to look at Lily, my sweet, innocent Lily, who I love more than life itself, and know that when I look at her, I'm seeing my brother. I don't know what to do. I have a shared bank account. Our house is in both our names. If I blow this up, I lose everything. But I can't live this lie. I need a plan. I can't just walk in there and scream, because Mike is a high-powered attorney. If I accuse him and her without all my ducks in a row, he will bury me. He knows the judges. He knows the system. He will take his daughter and leave me with nothing but alimony payments for a child that isn't mine. Please, I need advice on how to handle the next 24 hours. Do I pretend everything is normal? Do I call a lawyer before I go home? Do I confront Mike first? My heart is racing so fast I think I might actually be having a heart attack. Time passed since last post, 5 days. First, I want to thank everyone who messaged me. I read every single comment on the original post before the mods locked it. The advice to shut up and lawyer up saved my life this week. If I had gone home that first day and screamed at Sarah, I would be sleeping in my car right now with no access to my accounts. Instead, I have spent the last 120 hours living in a waking nightmare, performing the role of a happy husband while internally screaming. Here is what has happened since I threw up in my office trash can. I left work early that day claiming a stomach bug, which wasn't entirely a lie. I drove to a park about 5 miles from my house and just sat there for 3 hours. I stared at the steering wheel until my vision blurred. I needed to decompose the man I was and reassemble myself into someone cold enough to survive this. When I finally walked through my front door, it was like stepping onto a movie set. The lighting was warm, the smell of roasted chicken was in the air, and Lily came running down the hallway screaming, "Daddy, Daddy!" Usually, I scoop her up and spin her around. This time, I froze. I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't see myself. I saw the set of her jaw. It's Mike's jaw. The way her ears tuck back slightly, that's Mike. I felt a wave of revulsion so strong I almost gagged, followed immediately by a crushing guilt, because she is an innocent child. She doesn't know she is the product of the ultimate betrayal. I forced a smile, patted her head, and told her Daddy didn't feel well, so he couldn't pick her up. Sarah walked in, wiping her hands on a dish towel. "You look pale," she said. Her voice was full of concern. It made my skin crawl. This woman who has shared my bed for 8 years looked me in the eye and lied by omission with the ease of a sociopath. "Just something I ate," I mumbled. "I'm going to lay down." I spent the next 2 days sick in bed. This was my strategy to avoid intimacy and to buy time to research. While Sarah was downstairs with Lily, I was on my phone, looking for the most vicious divorce attorney in the state. I knew I couldn't use just anyone. Mike is a partner at a prestigious firm in the city. He has lunch with judges. He plays golf with the DA. If I hired a mall strip lawyer, Mike would crush me. I needed a shark. I found a guy. Let's call him Saul. He's known for being expensive, aggressive, and most importantly, his firm is the direct rival to Mike's. They hate each other. I met Saul on Tuesday morning. I took a sick day and drove 2 towns over. I laid the DNA results on his mahogany desk. Saul didn't even blink. He adjusted his glasses, looked at the papers, and then looked at me. "You want to kill him," Saul said, not a question. "I want to ruin him," I said, "and her, but mostly I need to know if I'm going to lose my daughter." Saul leaned back. "Technically, you are the presumed father. You were on the birth certificate, you have raised her. The court doesn't like to disrupt the status quo for a child. However, if your brother wants to claim paternity and he has the DNA to prove it, and he has the money to fight, it gets messy, very messy. We need leverage." Saul gave me a laundry list of tasks. Do not leave the marital home, abandonment issues. Secure half the funds immediately. Move them to a separate account at a different bank. Gather evidence of the affair. To prove moral turpitude, though we are a no-fault state, it helps with the narrative, and potentially with suing Mike for alienation of affection, depending on local statutes, or just purely for leverage. Keep my mouth shut. I went home and became a spy in my own life. I waited until Sarah went to her yoga class on Thursday night. Usually I watch TV. This time I went to our filing cabinet. I pulled the last 5 years of cell phone records. We have a shared plan, but I've never looked at the detailed logs because I trusted her. I downloaded the PDFs for the month surrounding Lily's conception. There it was, the Chicago trip 4 years ago. While I was away for training, there were calls to Mike's number every single night. 10:30 p.m., 11:45 p.m., 1 a.m., calls lasting 2 hours. But then I kept scrolling. The calls didn't stop after I came back. They slowed down, but they were there, once a week. A 45-minute call while I was at the gym. A Tuesday afternoon text threaded more than 400 messages in one day. My hands were shaking so bad I ripped one of the papers. Then I did something risky. Sarah has an old laptop she uses for recipes and Pinterest. It's usually in the kitchen. She's logged into her iMessage on there so she can text without using her phone's data. She's weird about data limits. I opened it. She hadn't deleted the threads. I scrolled back. It took me hours. I felt like I was physically bleeding out as I read them. Date, November 12, 4 years ago. Mike, he's gone for 2 more weeks. I can come over tonight. Sarah, I feel guilty. He bought you that scotch. Mike, don't think about him. Just think about us. I need you, Sarah. You know I've always wanted you. He just got there first. Sarah, come over at 9. Park down the street. Date, January 14, during her pregnancy. Sarah, I'm scared, Mike. What if it's yours? The timing. Mike, if it's mine, then she'll be perfect. Don't worry, we'll handle it. Just keep playing the part. He'll never know. Last week. Sarah, he's been acting weird lately. Do you think he suspects? Mike, no way. He's not smart enough to figure it out. He's happy in his little bubble. Just keep him happy. He's not smart enough. That broke me. That sentence was the final nail in the coffin of my love for my brother. He thinks I'm an idiot. He thinks I'm a placeholder, a cuckold who pays the bills while he gets the glory and the girl. I took photos of every single screen with my phone. I backed them up to a cloud drive Sarah doesn't know exists. I sent copies to Saul. But here is where the situation goes from divorce to nuclear warfare. After I found the messages, I was sitting in the dark kitchen, realizing the extent of the lie.
My parents. I remembered Thanksgiving last year. My mom made a joke about how Lily has the last name Knows. Mike laughed and winked at Sarah. He winked at her. I thought it was an inside joke. I thought they were just close. Now I realize my parents might not know for sure, but they suspect. They treat Mike like a god. If they found out he fathered Lily, they wouldn't cast him out. They would probably be thrilled that their golden child has produced an heir, even if he stole it from me. I checked the calendar. Tomorrow is Sunday. Every month we do a family barbecue at my house. My parents come, Mike comes. It's supposed to be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Sarah asked me this morning, "Are we still good for the barbecue? I bought those ribeyes Mike likes." I looked at her. I channeled every ounce of rage into a ball of ice in my stomach. "Yeah," I said, "I'm actually really looking forward to seeing everyone together. I'm not canceling the barbecue." I spoke to Saul an hour ago. He advised against a public confrontation, but I told him I'm done playing by the rules. I told him I have the evidence, I have the funds secured, I transferred 50% of our savings to a new account yesterday, and I have the DNA results printed in color. I am not going to sue them quietly. I am going to burn the entire village down. They are all coming to my house in less than 24 hours. I have prepared a little presentation. I bought a connect-to-TV HDMI cable. I'm terrifyingly calm right now. It's the calm before the storm. I'll update you all on the other side. If I don't post within 48 hours, assume I've been arrested for arson, because I'm about to set their world on fire.
Time passed since last update. 3 weeks. I know a lot of you have been DMing me, worried that I was in jail or dead. I'm neither, though there were moments in the last 20 days where I wished I was the latter. I had to go dark because things went nuclear, just as I predicted, but in ways I wasn't fully prepared for emotionally. So, the barbecue. That Sunday morning, I felt like I was walking to the gallows. Sarah was humming in the kitchen, making potato salad. She tried to hug me from behind while I was brewing coffee. I flinched. She pulled back, looking hurt. "Are you still feeling sick?" she asked, putting a hand on my forehead. "Just nerves about work," I lied. The lie tasted like ash. My parents arrived at 1:30 p.m. My dad immediately started complaining about the traffic, and my mom went straight to the backyard to fuss over the flowers Sarah planted. Then Mike arrived. He pulled into the driveway in his new Porsche. He walked in wearing $400 sunglasses, carrying a six-pack of craft beer. He clapped me on the back, hard. "Looking a little thin, little brother. Sarah not feeding you?" he joked. I looked at him. I looked at the man who shares my DNA, the man I've looked up to my whole life, and I saw a predator. "Just cutting the fat," I said. He didn't catch the double meaning. Lily was running around in the sprinklers. My heart broke every time she squealed. I had arranged for our next-door neighbor, Mrs. Higgins, a saint of a woman, to take Lily for ice cream and a movie at 3 p.m. I wanted Lily out of the house before the detonation. We ate. I watched Mike eat the ribeye Sarah bought for him. I watched them exchange glances, subtle ones, a lingering look when she handed him a napkin, a smirk when he made a joke about his stamina at the gym. It was sickeningly obvious now that I knew what to look for. My parents sat there, beaming at Mike, telling him how proud they were of his latest case. I was invisible. At 3 p.m., Mrs. Higgins came and got Lily. Sarah was confused. "Why is she taking her? We haven't even had cake." "I have a surprise for everyone," I said, my voice trembling slightly. "I wanted to show you guys something in the living room. It's better if Lily isn't bored by the grown-up talk." I herded them into the living room. Sarah sat on the love seat. Mike took the armchair, spreading his legs wide like he owned the place. My parents took the sofa. I stood by the TV. I had connected my laptop via HDMI. "So," I started. My hands were sweating. "You know I took those DNA tests a few months ago." Mike's posture stiffened instantly. He took a sip of his beer. Sarah froze. "I got the results," I said.
Oh, that silly thing, Mom waved her hand. Did we find out we're 1% Viking? No, I said. We found out something much more interesting. I hit the spacebar. The first slide wasn't the ethnicity, it was the screenshot of the predicted relationship niece/half-sister for Lily. And right next to it, the paternity match, Mike, last name, 99.9%. The room went so quiet you could hear the hum of the refrigerator in the next room. Sarah made a noise. It was like a squeak. Mike didn't move. He stared at the screen, his face turning a dark shade of red. My dad squinted. "What is this graph?" "It means," I said, my voice gaining volume, "that Lily isn't my daughter. She's Mike's." Sarah bolted up. "That's wrong. The test is wrong. You can't believe a stupid internet test over your wife?" I hit the spacebar again. The text messages, blown up to 60 inches of 4K clarity. "He's not smart enough to figure it out. If it's mine, she'll be perfect. I need you, Sarah." Sarah collapsed back on the love seat, sobbing. Not crying, sobbing, the ugly, gasping kind. Mike stood up. "Turn it off, you little piece of shit," he growled. He wasn't looking at me, he was looking at the floor. "No," I said, "I think Mom and Dad should read the part where you called me an idiot who pays the bills while you sleep with my wife." My mom started screaming. She turned to Sarah. "You whore! You seduced him!" I couldn't believe it. Even with the proof right there, her first instinct was to defend Mike. "He is a grown man, Mom," I shouted. "He slept with his brother's wife." Then Mike snapped. He lunged at me. I said, "Turn it off, you little piece of shit." He grabbed my laptop and spiked it on the hardwood floor. It shattered. Then he grabbed me by the collar. "You think you're smart? You think this helps you? You just ruined everything for everyone because you're insecure." I didn't fight back physically. I held my hands up. "Get your hands off me, Mike." "Boy, stop," Dad was yelling, trying to stand up, clutching his chest. I looked Mike in the eye. I already sent everything to Saul Goodman. Not his real name, obviously, but the shark I hired. He has the files, he has the texts, and the police are on their way. Mike released me like I was on fire. "You called the cops?" he asked. "I figured things might get domestic," I said. "Get out of my house." "This is half Sarah's house," Mike spat. "You can't kick us out." "Actually," I said, "I can kick you out. And Sarah, well, Sarah can stay until the divorce papers are served, which should be," I checked my watch, "any minute now." As if on cue, and I swear I couldn't have timed this better if I directed it, the doorbell rang. It wasn't the process server, it was the cops. Neighbors had called because of the screaming. I walked to the door, explained calmly that my brother was becoming violent and I wanted him trespassed from the property. Mike tried to lawyer talk the cops. He pulled his "Do you know who I am" card. The officers, two guys who looked like they dealt with nonsense all day, didn't care. They told him to leave or be arrested for disturbance. Mike left, but before he walked out, he looked at me and said, "You're going to regret this. I will bury you in litigation until you're living in a box." My parents left with him. My mom paused at the door, looking at me with tears in her eyes. I thought she was going to apologize. Instead, she said, "You shouldn't have done this in front of us. You humiliated your brother. You could have handled this privately." "Get out," I whispered. She left. That left me and Sarah. She was curled up in a ball on the rug, weeping. "I'm sorry," she kept saying. "I'm so sorry. It just happened. We didn't mean to hurt you. It was just, we have a connection. But I love you. I love our life." "I love your paycheck," I said. I felt dead inside. "And you love the attention." I went to the guest room and locked the door. The fallout. Last 3 weeks. The divorce. Saul filed on Monday. We are citing adultery, moral turpitude, and fraud. Sarah has been served. She's refusing to leave the house, and legally I can't force her out yet without a court order, which takes time. So we are living as ghosts in the same house. I put a lock on my bedroom door. I bought a mini fridge. I record every interaction with her on my phone. The money. Sarah tried to access our joint savings the day after the barbecue. She found $500. I had moved the rest, $120K, to a secured account under Saul's guidance. She screamed at me through the door for an hour. Mike's retaliation. Mike filed for paternity 2 days later. He wants 50-50 custody of Lily. He's suing me for defamation. He claims I doctored the text messages. Saul laughed when he saw the filing. He's flailing, Saul said. Discovery is going to destroy him. The parents, they have gone full flying monkey. My mom texts me daily telling me to drop the lawsuit and forgive family. She says Lily needs her real father and that I'm being selfish. I blocked her number 3 days ago. Lily, this is the hardest part. She knows something is wrong. Mommy is crying all the time. Daddy won't talk to Mommy. I'm trying so hard to be normal for her, but every time I look at her, I see the deception. Last night, I was tucking her in. She grabbed my hand. Daddy, are you going away? I choked up. No, sweetie, Daddy is right here. Uncle Mike said he's going to take me to the zoo, she said. My blood froze. When did you talk to Uncle Mike? He called Mommy's phone today. He wanted to talk to me. Mike is violating boundaries. He's trying to establish a relationship with her now to look good for court. I called Saul immediately. We are filing for an emergency restraining order tomorrow morning to prevent Mike from contacting Lily until paternity and custody are established legally. I'm exhausted. I've lost 15 pounds, but I'm not stopping. I have a meeting with HR at my company tomorrow. Mike knows people at my job. I need to get ahead of the rumors before he tries to get me fired. I will update when the court hearing happens. This is going to get uglier before it gets better.
Time passed since last update. 1 year, 6 months. I'm writing this from the balcony of an apartment in Denver, Colorado. The mountains are purple in the distance. The air is crisp. And for the first time in what feels like a lifetime, my chest doesn't feel like it's being crushed by a vice. It is done. The ink is dry. The war is over. I know I left you all on a cliffhanger. The truth is, I physically couldn't update. The last 18 months were a meat grinder of depositions, mediation, screaming matches, and a depression so deep I wasn't sure I'd climb out of it. But I promised to tell you how it ends. So here is the autopsy of my former life. The legal war. Mike didn't just sue me, he tried to annihilate me. His defamation suit was his opening salvo. He claimed I had fabricated the text messages and that I had illegally recorded him. Saul, my lawyer, who honestly deserves a statue in the town square, was magnificent. We went to a deposition 3 months after the BBQ. I sat across a long glass table from Mike. He looked tired. The cocky golden boy shine was gone. His tie was slightly crooked. He wouldn't look me in the eye. Saul placed the phone records on the table. "Mr. Last Name," Saul said, his voice terrifyingly pleasant. "You claim these texts are doctored. Are you aware that we subpoenaed the carrier directly? These are the raw server logs. Are you suggesting AT&T joined a conspiracy to frame you?" Mike's lawyer whispered something in his ear. Mike turned pale. The defamation suit was dropped with prejudice 2 weeks later. We countersued for legal fees. We won. I got back every cent I spent defending myself against his ego. The paternity and custody battle. This is the part that will frustrate a lot of you. It frustrates me. It haunts me. The DNA doesn't lie. Mike is the biological father. In our state, biology combined with the mother's admission is a trump card. Because Lily was under 5, the court was willing to entertain a challenge to paternity despite the presumption of legitimacy, since I was married to Sarah. Mike wanted full rights, not because he loves Lily, I know this in my bones, but because he wanted to win. He wanted to take the last thing I had. Sarah, to her eternal shame, supported him. She testified that I was hostile and that Lily needed her real family. Hearing the woman I slept with for 8 years call me hostile after she slept with my brother broke something inside me that will never be fixed. The judge, a stern woman who looked like she had seen it all, ruled on the disestablishment of paternity. Since Mike was stepping up, financially and legally, and Sarah was agreeing, the court ordered the birth certificate amended. I am no longer Lily's father in the eyes of the law. I fought for third-party visitation under the psychological parent doctrine. I stood before the judge and said, "Your Honor, I cut her umbilical cord. I taught her to walk. Biology is a fluid. Fatherhood is an action. Please don't erase me." I saw the judge tear up. She granted me 1 weekend a month, just one, because reintroducing the biological father requires stability and consistency in the new family unit. The goodbye. The transition day happened a year ago. I had to pack Lily's bags, her stuffed rabbit, her nightlight. Sarah came to pick her up. She stayed in the car. Mike wasn't there. I knelt down in the hallway. Lily was wearing her favorite dinosaur raincoat. She looked confused. "Daddy, why are all my toys in boxes?" I had rehearsed this speech 1,000 times in the shower, sobbing. I swallowed the lump in my throat. "Sweetie, you're gonna stay with Mommy for a while, and you're gonna get to know Uncle Mike really well. He's gonna be like a daddy, too." "I don't want a new daddy," she whispered. I hugged her so hard I thought I'd bruise her. I smelled her strawberry shampoo. I memorized the feeling of her small arms around my neck. "I love you, Lily. I will always, always love you, no matter where I am." I watched her walk down the driveway. She looked back once. I went inside, locked the door, and lay on the floor for 3 days. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, I just existed in a void. The aftermath, the villains.
You might think Mike winning makes this a tragedy, but let me tell you about the victory he won. Mike and Sarah, they are miserable. How do I know? Because small towns talk, and Sarah reached out. About 4 months ago, I got an email from a new address. It was Sarah. Subject, "I'm sorry." The email was a novella. Apparently, the reality of family life hit Mike like a freight train. He didn't want a child, he wanted a trophy. He hates the tantrums, he hates the mess, he yells at Lily. He works late to avoid coming home. Sarah is trapped. She lost her support system, me. Mike creates a hostile environment. She admitted that she cries every day. She asked if we could get coffee and talk about closure. I didn't reply. I forwarded the email to Saul, asked if it violated any orders. It didn't, and then I deleted it. Mike also took a hit professionally. While he wasn't fired, law firms or boys' clubs, the rumor mill is vicious. He was passed over for a managing partner role. He was moved to a satellite office 40 minutes away from the city center, basically career purgatory. He's stuck with a woman he used as a pawn and a child he doesn't know how to love. The parents. They tried to play Switzerland for a few months, then they realized Mike wasn't the saint they thought. Mike treats them like hired help, free babysitting. My mom showed up at my apartment complex shortly before I moved. I saw her through the peephole. She looked old, frail. She knocked for 10 minutes. "Please, son, I miss you. We made a mistake. Mike is hard to deal with." I didn't open the door. I watched her leave through the window. They lost 2 sons that day. They just didn't realize it yet. Where I am now. I sold the house. The market was good, and even after buying Sarah out,
Saul managed to minimize her cut by arguing dissipation of marital assets regarding the money she spent on Mike. I walked away with a clean chunk of change. I couldn't stay in that town. Every street corner reminded me of them. The grocery store where I bought Lily's diapers, the park where I taught her to swing. It was a graveyard of memories. I transferred to my company's Denver office. I've been here for 6 months. I am in therapy twice a week. It's helping. I'm learning that my worth isn't tied to my ability to be a provider or a husband. I'm unpacking the lifetime of comparisons to my brother. I still see Lily. Once a month, I fly back. I take her to the zoo or the aquarium. She is 6 now. She is smart. She is observant. Last month, while we were eating ice cream, she looked at me and said, "Uncle Mike yells a lot. I like it better when it's just us." It broke my heart, but it also vindicated me. She knows. Kids always know who brings the peace and who brings the chaos. I am the fun uncle now, in title, but in her heart, I know who I am. Final thoughts. I walked through fire. I lost my wife, my brother, my parents, and my legal title of father. But I saved myself. I look at the DNA test now as the most painful blessing of my life. If I hadn't taken it, I would still be living a lie, raising a child for a brother who laughed at me behind my back, married to a woman who viewed me as a safety net. I am alone, yes, but I am real. My life is mine again. I met a woman last week. Her name is Elena. We met at a hiking group. She has a nice laugh. We went for coffee. I didn't vomit. I didn't panic. I told her I have a complicated family history, and she said, "Don't we all? We have a second date on Friday." To anyone reading this who is staring at a phone screen, reading a text that shatters their world, or holding a DNA result that makes no sense, you will feel like dying. You will want to burn the world down. But do not let them turn you into a monster. Law up. Protect your assets. Cry in the shower, but keep walking. The air on the other side of the mountains is cleaner than you can imagine. Thank you for listening. This is the last post I will make on this account. I'm logging off to go on that date.